Hello, Tab Nation! It's your boy Tom, and today, sorry, just making sure I have everything lined up correctly there. We're going to be doing a video on DreamLight Valley. It's from Disney. Recently came out. As of filming this video, it is still technically in beta, but I think the full release is coming pretty soon. But regardless, this stuff should still work. And if you guys like this, definitely subscribe. I do videos like this all the time, having to do with automation, whether it's your job, personal life, or video games. I'm here for you all. 1-2 videos a week. Hit the like button if you like this video. Lets me show what type of videos you all like so I can continue to do those specific kind of videos. And today we're going to talk about how to automate a few different things. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff you can automate. But this is kind of some of the stuff I started with. I might do another video if you guys come up with ideas. If it's something that's doable, we'll do it. Now, a lot of this code, I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. I'm not going to talk a lot about it just because I've done tons of videos on all these things specifically. If you want to know more, this is more just specific for the game. So the first one we have, I probably should have commented these in. This is for cooking. I find it annoying if I need to mass cook something, like let's say I need to make 20 things of crackers. It's kind of a pain to sit there, click, autofill, cook, autofill, cook, autofill, cook. I'd rather just say, hey, make me 20 of these and walk away. So that's what we're doing here with input box times, and obviously you're going to see all this stuff in action here shortly. How many to cook? So it's just, you can word this however you want, but how many to cook, very simple. It's going to give you a tooltip, which is just a little black box that appears wherever your mouse was. It's going to say hover over the autofill. It's going to give you 5 seconds to put your mouse where it's supposed to, so put it over so select your recipe first, obviously. But then hover your mouse over there. It's then going to grab those coordinates based on your screen and your mouse location. You're then going to get another tooltip, which is going to be position 1 got. Now hover over the start cooking button, basically. Once again, it's going to give you 5 seconds. If you want, you can change these sleeps to anything. It's in milliseconds, so 5,000 milliseconds is equal to 5 seconds. Then it's going to get the second coordinate, so mouse get position, X pose 2, Y pose 2. Obviously, once again, you can name these whatever you want. Next, we're going to do tooltip. POST got will start in 5 seconds. So that got the second coordinates and to let you know that the program is going to start in 5 seconds. So loop times, and that's getting that from up here where your input box was, and that's going to basically, I just realized we need to sleep here for that 5 seconds, or 500 milliseconds. So you're going to do that. Then you're going to loop X amount of times. That's where that, put it into percentages. That means it's a variable. It's grabbing that data from up there. So I'll give you guys a second to look at this main part here for coding. Now, in our loop, it's basically saying go through, let's say we did 20 times. We're then going to come here into a side of our loop where these two brackets are here, curly brackets. We're going to move our mouse. So mouse move, comma, our variable x1, y1, which is where the auto cook is, or auto fill. It's going to sleep for half a second, so 500 milliseconds. It's then going to click, which is just a left click. That's all that means is click. Sleep another 500 milliseconds. It's then going to move to the next location, which is the actual cook button. So that's where it's grabbing the same thing as up here, just we're switching that 1 for a 2. Sleep 500 milliseconds, click. Sleep 2 seconds, click. And the reason for that is that's where that little animation comes across where it shows you what you made, how many stars you got. So it waits like 2 seconds for that scene to kind of finish. Once again, you can play around with this to get an exact timing. 2 seconds seem to work pretty well with me. If you really want, you can slow it down just to be on the safe side in case there's a lag. You can do 3 seconds. It's then going to click, and that's just going to click wherever. It's just exiting out of that. It's going to sleep 2 seconds. Come back up here. Do it all again until it's done at X amount of times. Like I said in my example, 20. And once it's gone through, you're going to get a message box, which is just MSG, BOX, comma, done, F1 to restart. So then you're just going to, you press done, actually. We're going to say OK to restart. So you push OK, it's then going to do what's called reload, and that's just going to start you back all over again. Now our hotkey up here is Control Q. You can change this to whatever you want. If you want to use, like F1, F2, Shift Q, it's all up to you. Just do whatever, but we're using Control Q here for cooking, but change it to whatever you want. It's just a random one I put. F1 is reload. That's just in case something goes wrong with the script and it gets stuck doing something and I can't control anything. I can press F1 and it's going to restart the script and stop whatever it was doing. It's always good to put this in your script just in case something goes wrong. You have kind of like an emergency stop button to reload and just start fresh completely without having to close it and relaunch it and stuff. It'll do it automatically for you. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at that in action, and then we'll move on to the next one. Alrighty, and for our next one here, we're going to be doing picture taking. So there is a achievement or whatever where you need to take X amount of pictures. Sometimes there's like a daily one too. So this is one that's kind of going to do it really fast for you. You can obviously manipulate this for other different things that goals you have or whatever. But here we're going to be using F2 as our hotkey. Once again, change it to whatever you want. And we're going to be doing a send command. And the send command is just saying press buttons on the keyboard. It's mimicking like a human, typing. So we're going to do tab down. So it's holding the tab key down. And as you know, that opens up your little wheel there. We're going to press number 6, which is the camera. And then we're going to press space, which is going to open our camera. We're then going to sleep for 1 second just to make sure everything is good, the camera is loaded and whatnot, whatever. And then we're going to loop 50 times. So right here you can change this to whatever number you want. If you want, you can go back up here where I have the input box and do kind of the exact same thing if you want to change it every time. But we're going to do a loop 50. And inside our loop, our curly brackets here, we're going to press send E, which takes the picture. Wait 500 milliseconds or half a second just in case, and then we're going to send escape to get out of that picture, and then it's just going to go picture, escape picture, picture, escape picture. Once it gets all through done 50, you're going to get that little message box, so message box MSG BOX, comma, done. And then we have a return here, and a return is basically a stop sign. It says this is the end of this code block here. Don't go any farther. If I press F2, you get to the return, stop, don't run code down here. That's all a return means. Up here I don't have a return because we have a reload instead. So this one's pretty simple, so let's go ahead and see that one in action. Alrighty, next up is auto picking, I guess we'll call it. Let me add that on here, auto picking. So with this one, basically you're going to stand in front of a bush or a tree, whatever you're trying to pick, apples, cherries, whatever. Probably go with whatever sells for the best, I would assume. You're going to stand in front of it, aiming at it like you're going to pick from it. And we're going to do a set timer here. A timer just means run code every X amount of milliseconds. Jumping to the word pick, once again, you can change this as long as this down here matches. This is our handler. So right here, we're going to be doing 300,000 milliseconds. That's a few minutes. Each plant's going to be a little different, so you can probably Google that, find out exactly what the best one is, or you just say, to be on the safe side, just go off every minute. And if there's nothing there, then nothing happens, and then you can just, walk away while this runs. So every, 300,000 milliseconds, it's going to jump down here to our handler, and it's just going to do send E. Also, if you want to do mining, you could do send and get rid of this comma and do send space, and that would, use your pickaxe every so often too. That's a good one to have also. The only thing to remember with this is eventually your energy will run out and you do need to eat. So you can manipulate this to feed yourself every so often, using kind of like that cooking thing up there, but with food instead. That's actually pretty easy to do. You could literally use this cooking thing actually for feeding yourself and just add a timer to it instead of the input box, so you can manipulate that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. This one's pretty simple, but hey, it's a great way to grind to make money. It's once you start to get up there with like Scrooge and stuff, it gets a little ridiculous on how much stuff costs. I mean, a lot of stuff right now I'm buying is like 500,000 plus a coin for every single upgrade, and it's like, oh boy, it's getting crazy. And there's expansions coming out soon, DLC and whatnot. I'm sure it's going to go even higher for some things. So, use this. There's no multiplayer as of right now, so you're really only cheating yourself. And that's just how you see it. There's games where I love the game, but it just has too much of a grind to the point that it almost starts to ruin the game. So if I can automate something stupid like this, the game suddenly becomes a lot better for me. So for me, I'm not cheating myself because it's making the game better and more enjoyable. And that's what gaming's about. Play it how you want to play it. I know a lot of people argue about, that's not how the game was designed, therefore you're wrong. And it's like, well, it's about what you want. As long as you're not cheating other people, play how you want. It's all about enjoyment. Like, come on. So I'm not really going to show this one in action just because that one's pretty straightforward. Stand in front of a tree, and plus I'm not waiting 300,000 milliseconds multiple times just so you guys can see that. So yeah. All right, let's take a look at this next one. Not last one, sorry. Now this one's basically the same thing as up here, but just in a little bit of a different way. So this one's more for mining. Obviously you could change this to E to be up here. So it's really depending on what you want to do here, but this one's getting a little bit more advanced. So I wanted to show you both options, so you can, manipulate it how you want. Now here we're using the hotkey F4. As always, change it to what you want. Max threads is 2. That means only 2 threads will be running. That's always kind of good to put in there a lot of times if you have a set timer. Or something. I mean, you really don't need this in this case, but I'll throw it in there anyway because it's already there. So a toggle is basically an on and off switch. So we're doing toggle, all this, exclamation point, toggle, that's basically saying turn on and off, or true, false, basically. If toggle, meaning on, we're going to set a timer like we did up above, but we're going to jump to what's called level, which is our handler down here. And we're going to do it every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, it's going to jump down here. It's going to send space. This is going to be for mining mostly. But once again, you can change this to whatever you want. Walk away, come back. Okay, I want this to stop. Well, all I have to do is press F4 again. And instead of if toggle, it's going to go to the else, which is going to be set timer to off instead of 2 seconds. And then it'll perform the last action if it had hit, which should only take a split second. And then it's going to stop. Whereas up here, if you want this to stop, you're going to have to press that reload up here. Where is that? Right here, F1 reload. So there's basically just two different ways to kind of do all that kind of stuff. Once again, I'm not going to show you that one. It's pretty straightforward. You just stand in front of what you want, toggle on, toggle off, or, you know, just get the timer running. Basically is really all there is to that. All right. So for this one's for feeding yourself, especially if you have something that's very low in the amount of energy or whatever that it gives you. Maybe you're just eating something basic like apples, that's all you have, or you just want to use them up. This is what this is going to do. It's so annoying to sit there, click on the apple, say eat, click on the apple, eat, and do it like, you know, 20 times or whatever, depending on how big your bar is or whatever, or how low you are. So with this one, we're going to be using Control F5, and that's what that is. The up caret is just a control. You can use like the plus symbol stands for shift, exclamation point stands for alt, just in case you guys want to use those. Or like I always like to do is usually just simple F5, but I'm showing you different options in here. So for this one, we're doing the same thing up there that we did with food, with mouse get position, comma, and our variable is going to be food x1 and food y1. It's going to sleep for 5 seconds. Now here, I'm not using tooltips. I'm just going for it and hoping I got it timed correctly. I mean, you got 5 seconds to do it. So you're going to hover over the item that you want to eat. You're going to say Control F5. It's going to grab that position. Go ahead and click on that item so you get that menu where it says to eat. And then within 5 seconds, you just need to hover your mouse over that eat button. And then you're going to get that tooltip saying ready. So we got the coordinates, they're saved, we're ready. Okay, we go out, we mine, we pick food, dig, whatever. Our energy is now low. Let's eat, you know, a bunch of apples. So we're going to push F5. It's going to send I to open your inventory. Sleep 2 seconds, give it a chance to load. Once again, you can play with this timing. It really depends on your computer, on how fast it is in the game and stuff like that. So you might have to play around with these milliseconds here. It's going to loop 3 times. Once again, change this to whatever you want. If you want to eat 10 times, if you're eating apples, maybe you want to eat 10 at a time. But maybe if you're eating actual like entrees, you might only want to eat 3 or 2 or whatever. Play around with whatever you want. Change it up. We're going to loop that many times. So it's going to click on that food item because the inventory is open now. It's going to click at that XY position. We're doing a left click here, as you see. So mouse click, comma, left, comma, our first variable, which is our X coordinates on our screen, and then our Y coordinates on our screen. Just make sure you put a comma in between there. We're going to sleep for 1 second. Once again, just making sure it loaded correctly, no lag. And then we're going to click on, same thing as up here, but we're going to be clicking on that eat button. It's going to loop that many times. Once it's done, it's going to go outside the loop, and it's for the last part of it, it's going to send I again to close our inventory for us. So all we got to do is press F5, eat, and yeah, we're good to go back to our daily routine. All right, let's go ahead and see that one in action, shall we? All right, and our last one, which I'm sure is the one you all are very interested in. I have some good and bad news. This kind of works. It's the timing on here you're really going to have to play with. It doesn't always work. The fishing part of it is definitely going to be the most difficult thing you're going to find to get perfect. You know, this one I would say from just the simple, I haven't played with it too much, but the best I could get was probably maybe like a 33% chance of it actually working each time I cast the line out. So head to the beach or wherever you're going to be fishing. Go ahead, line up where you want to cast. And And then we're just going to push F6. That's going to be our hotkey. We're going to set another timer. This is going to be for 600,000 milliseconds, which is equal to 10 minutes. And so every 10 minutes, it's going to go to fish get. Now, obviously, you can change this to whatever. I just did 10 minutes for some odd reason. But fish get, it's going to click, sleep 5 seconds, click again. So that's just us casting. Oh, wait, hold on. Fish get, click. Oh, I'm sorry. This is from Moana's ship. That's why it's 10 minutes. Obviously, adjust this to whatever you have it upgraded to. Sorry, I got confused here. So this one, you stand at her boat looking at it. And yeah, basically, you open up the menu, hover your mouse over the collect. And this is just going to collect every 10 minutes. It's going to collect whatever fish is in her boat. So that's what that is. Don't need to show you this one in action. Once again, it's basically the same thing as doing the apples and stuff up there with picking. Just stand in front of the boat, open the menu, hover your mouse over the button you need to press, and walk away. So yeah, and then with this one, to stop the timer, you're just going to have to press F1 to reload the whole script, or you can add, you know, your own hotkey here for reload, or a toggle like we did up here, up somewhere. F7, here is the fishing script. So this one, we're going to loop 3 times. Once again, change it to whatever you want. And inside our loop, we're going to do send space down, sleep for 1 second, and then send space up. And that just lets the casting line go out a little bit farther so it's not right on the shore or misses the water. We're going to sleep 4,900 milliseconds. Once again, kind of playing around. That seemed to get me close to 33%. I could go a little bit more into detail with that number until I get it perfect. Let me know it works for you, but it's going to work differently for everybody. Probably for the most part, it really depends on your system. I mean, it could, on my system, this could be perfect, but on your system, maybe you need to add 50 to this number to get it perfect. It's really, I can't really give you an answer. You're just going to have to play with it. We're going to click. That's basically what I figured out is when the fish bite, usually. It seems to be pretty much the same time every single time. Hopefully they don't change that in the future, and then we'll have to get very creative with that if they do. It's going to sleep for 2.5 milliseconds, or minutes, or seconds. Sorry, my brain's going numb here. Once again, that just seems to be about the right timing that I got from just playing around. Click, sleep 5 seconds. That's letting you know the cut screen of what fish you got. Click, sleep 1 second, and do it another 2 times. And once we're done, it's going to say return. If we want, we can always add a message box here that just says done. And let's put that over there like that and save. I'm not really going to show this one in action because it's just, works maybe 30% of the time-ish, you know, 1/3 of the time. It's kind of but hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. Now, I could see people wanting to take that one where I was talking about auto-eating, this one up here, and using this and combining it with pretty much anything in the script. You know, F7, let's fish X amount of times, eat 5 apples, fish 10 times, eat 5 apples. So, you know, really play around with the scripts, adjust them to, you know, combine them, take things away how you want. But yeah, if you guys have any other ideas on stuff I could do in there that I could probably try. I know a lot of people are going to ask, oh, make it so I can walk from this location to this location automatically. Sorry, that's not going to work. It's a 3D game. It's not doable without an insane amount of, like, effort. I mean, I'm talking an insane, like, force of nature when it comes to coding. So don't even ask about that. But, yeah, no, if you have other ideas that I haven't really thought of yet, definitely let me know. I might do a follow-up video on this, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you can watch. I also do other gaming stuff. And even with this video, even though it's targeted at DreamLight, a lot of this stuff can be manipulated and used in pretty much any video game. So, you know, definitely take a look at some of my videos where I go more in depth to, like, set timers. I have a video where I talk about everything having to do with set timers, you know, mouse clicks, all that kind of stuff, tool tips. you know, so definitely check those videos out if you want to know more about a specific command in here that I didn't go fully into depth with. So yeah, all right, everybody, thank you for watching, and happy gaming. See you on the next one.